Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, we'll be delving into a distressing incident that took place on December 18, 2013. Brianna Warland, a young woman, received an unexpected phone call at 1:45 in the morning. It was her best friend, Heather, sobbing on the other end. Heather shared a recent conversation with her ex-lover, Sydney, who had called her expressing regret over his divorce and asking to restart their relationship. Curious, Brianna questioned why Heather answered the call from an unknown number. Heather, slightly calmed by Brianna, explained that the call was unknown, prompting her to answer. Brianna, concerned about Heather's recent recovery from their breakup, persuaded her friend to go back to sleep and advised against getting involved with Sydney again. The incident takes place in High County, South Carolina, known for its picturesque landscapes. On December 19th, local police discovered an abandoned green Dodge Intrepid, registered to Terry Elvis, parked in a remote area known as Peachtree Landing, about 8 miles from Myrtle Beach. Terry, Heather's father, was informed about the found car, and together with the police, they investigated the unusual location, initially thinking the car might have been stolen. Terry was surprised, but not overly worried. However, upon finding no personal belongings, including Heather's purse, keys, or phone, Terry's concern grew. Attempts to contact Heather were unsuccessful, and when the restaurant where she worked confirmed her absence, Terry informed the police of his growing concerns about his daughter's unusual behavior. This abrupt deviation from her typical behavior was profoundly unsettling for Terry, who couldn't fathom any reason why his daughter, Heather, would act in such a manner. At that particular juncture, both the car and the riverbank, where it was discovered, weren't immediately designated as crime scenes, primarily due to the absence of apparent indicators such as signs of a struggle, broken glass, or traces of blood. However, despite this initial assessment, authorities opted to initiate a missing person investigation, recognizing the gravity of the situation. In response to this unfolding mystery, a collaborative effort between law enforcement and volunteers commenced a thorough search of the surrounding land. Simultaneously, divers delved into the riverbed, exploring every potential lead. Amidst this concerted effort, human remains were indeed discovered in the forest. However, upon forensic examination, they were determined to belong to an unknown man, frustratingly diverting the investigation away from resolving the whereabouts of the missing woman. In the quest for answers, investigators diligently scrutinized the background of the missing individual. Heather, a 20-year-old woman, was the daughter of Terry and Debbie Elvis, residing in the county. Described as having a close-knit relationship with her family, particularly her younger sister, Heather's father emphasized the unity and supportiveness that defined their familial bonds. Despite her independence, Heather maintained daily communication with her father, showcasing the enduring connection they shared. Heather's journey into adulthood took a notable turn in 2011, when, after graduating from SD James High School, she expressed her desire to move in with her best friend, Brianna Warland. This decision, fully endorsed by her parents, marked the beginning of a new chapter in Heather's life. At the age of 20, she found employment as a waitress at the Tilted Celt, a Scottish-themed restaurant in Myrtle Beach, nurturing aspirations of becoming a cosmetologist. Heather's younger sister, Morgan, highlighted her siblings' passion for makeup, camera work, creativity, and ambition. Heather's vibrant personality left an indelible mark on her town, where she was recognized for her kindness, carefree spirit, and positive nature. Brianna Warland fondly recalled that memories of Heather invariably elicited smiles, given her consistently bright and uplifting personality. Another friend characterized Heather as sociable, freedom-loving, and someone who embraced the enjoyment of life to the fullest. As of 2013, Heather had been living for a year with her best friend, Brianna, in Myrtle Beach. During this period, she not only excelled in her studies, but also appeared to be navigating through life successfully. The sudden disappearance of such a dynamic and promising individual cast a shadow of concern and mystery over the community, leaving loved ones and investigators grappling with the inexplicable circumstances surrounding Heather Elvis's vanishing act. The narrative takes a poignant turn, as what was once a wonderful existence for Heather underwent a radical transformation after a serendipitous encounter at the Tilted Celt, ultimately leading her down a path fraught with tragedy. On a warm June afternoon, Heather, diligently working the day shift at the bustling restaurant, crossed paths with Sidney Moore, a 37-year-old father of three and a handyman with a small kitchen appliance repair business in Myrtle Beach. Their initial meeting, sparked by a work-related connection, gradually evolved into a frequent and intimate interaction. The two discovered shared interests and hobbies, kindling a connection that Heather, drawn to the older man, subtly expressed on Twitter. By the end of July, Heather began posting intimate messages explicitly directed to Sidney, who was involved in renovating the restaurant. Their relationship progressed, evident in Heather's tweets hinting at significant developments, with one expressing that she had done something, and another stating that she was too deep to stop. In the workplace, rumors about Heather's affection for the 37-year-old Sidney circulated among co-workers, leading to disapproval due to Sidney being a married man. Colleagues, aware of the affair, even played jokes on Heather, masquerading as Tammy, Sidney's wife. Despite the growing whispers, the relationship continued to flourish, with Sidney frequently visiting the restaurant, bringing coffee and sweets for Heather, and waiting for her at the back door after her shift. The couple openly shared details of their relationship with friends, going as far as discussing Sidney's plans to hire Heather as a full-time nanny when he and his wife relocated to Florida. The toxic nature of their relationship became evident as they constantly engaged in phone conversations and clandestine rendezvous in remote and secluded places. Despite Sidney's assurances of dissatisfaction with his wife and intentions to leave her, Heather's friends warned her of the potential manipulation. By mid-September, Heather seemed to grasp the precariousness of her situation, and on September 21st, she cryptically tweeted about an angel and a demon falling in love, alluding to a foreboding outcome. The turning point arrived when Tammy, Sidney's 34-year-old wife of 34 years, discovered her husband's secret affair. Tammy confronted Heather over the phone, subjecting her to humiliation and insults witnessed by Brianna, Heather's roommate. Tammy asserted that Sidney was merely using Heather for fantasies, and Sidney echoed these sentiments, declaring Heather meant nothing to him. Prosecutor Chris Helms later revealed that Tammy wielded significant control in the Moore household, dictating Sidney's actions, and incensed by the betrayal, Tommy's retaliation escalated beyond phone calls, with acts of hate including handcuffing Sidney at night, changing his phone password, and coercing him to get a tattoo of her name on his stomach. Tommy's relentless attacks extended to Heather's workplace, demanding her termination and sending explicit pictures and videos of her and Sidney together. In early November, Heather, determined to rebuild her life, began attending church with her best friend, seeking solace and support. However, Tommy's malevolence persisted as she sent new threatening messages to Heather, intensifying the torment and causing disruptions in her professional life. The complex web of relationships, fueled by passion, dissection, and a vengeful spouse, set the stage for the tragic events that would unfold in Heather's life. In November, the situation escalated when Tammy sent threatening messages to Heather, demanding her address and cautioning of severe consequences if Heather didn't comply. Tammy asserted that she had been observing Heather since January 2012, leaving Heather emotionally drained. Despite the conclusion of her relationship with Sidney, Tammy persistently harassed Heather. Toward the end of November, After enduring over 2 weeks of Tammy's frets, Heather finally experienced a brief respite when Sydney and Tammy departed for a trip to California with their children. Amidst the turmoil, Heather achieved a significant milestone in her life, landing her dream job as a makeup artist at a beauty salon. However, her joy was tinged with anxiety as she noticed a sudden weight gain in early November, prompting concerns about a potential pregnancy. In her distress, Heather, fearing repercussions from Tammy, took a pregnancy test at her workplace, only to discover it was faulty. Despite the uncertainties, Heather decided to forge ahead, seeking a fresh start and agreeing to a first date with Steve Gerald, a man she found genuinely appealing. On the evening of December 17th, Heather and Steve enjoyed the festive Christmas lights in Myrtle Beach, culminating in a driving lesson where Steve taught Heather to drive his manual transmission car. Around 1:15 a.m., Steve dropped Heather off at her Carolina Forest apartment. Detectives, faced with a lack of specific leads, opted to construct a comprehensive timeline of events leading up to Heather's disappearance. Initially considering Steve as a prime suspect, investigators later discarded suspicions when no incriminating evidence was found. While Heather's family and friends fervently engaged in search efforts, Tammy took to social media, persisting in insulting Heather. This caught the attention of investigators, adding another layer of complexity to the case. On December 20th, Sydney was subjected to questioning, maintaining that he had no contact with Heather. Investigators, focusing on Heather's call history, uncovered that Sydney had called her from a payphone near a gas station. Surveillance footage corroborated his presence at the phone booth. Further scrutiny revealed Sydney purchasing a pregnancy test and driving his Ford F-150 SUV towards Peachtree Landing, where Heather's car would later be discovered. Home surveillance footage displayed Sydney and Tammy meticulously cleaning their car on the day they replaced their surveillance system. Despite the absence of Heather's body, Sydney and Tammy were apprehended in February 2014, charged with kidnapping. Murder charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence. In 2017, Sydney was found guilty of obstructing justice, receiving a 10-year sentence. Subsequent lengthy court hearings in 2019 led to Sydney and Tammy being found guilty of kidnapping Heather, each receiving concurrent 30-year sentences. Despite the conviction, Sydney continued to maintain his innocence. Heather's family expressed hope that the truth would eventually surface. To this day, Heather's body remains undiscovered, and her family persists in their efforts to keep her memory alive by posting missing person announcements on her birthday. Thanks for watching. If you found this story intriguing, subscribe for more. Stay informed, stay compassionate. Take care.